now time community conversation. Program focusing on people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. This program are those of the participants who not necessarily reflect the views of KMK 102.5 FM, voice artists, or our otherwise voice artists.
KMK 102.5. He is in the studio with us today. We also have Mr. Paul Holmes in the studio with us today. He's the public information specialist for the Jonesboro Police Department. So we've got a lot of topics to talk about, and we're to start off as always. We have 3 new officers that were just hired in. They were recently sworn in, and they're going to begin their training soon. I think Rabila, I know off there had a couple questions about the process, so I'll let Rabila ask those questions.
Okay, hi. Thank you for joining me this morning. Okay, because I know nothing about how the police department works. Well, some degree. I was wanting to know, or can you please share with the listeners, what is it like? What is the process when someone, fills out the application, they're approved for hire? What's next?
Okay. What do you want to talk about the whole process, or just what
I guess give us kind of the Cliff Notes version.
Cliff Note, short version. Fill out an application. We have a written test and a physical test that you must pass. If you pass those 2, you go to an oral interview. And if you do the interview, or before that, you have a background investigation. If you make the background interview, and then you'll be put on the eligibility list. And then when it comes hiring time, if you're selected, then you'll have to pass a psychological test, medical test, and a drug screen test. And if you complete that last battery of tests, then you will begin your employment with Jonesboro Police Department. You'll have training that will be conducted in-house. Then you'll have academy training of 13 weeks that you'll have to graduate and be certified as a police officer. And then that applicant will arrive within about 3 months with field training officer. So it's a very extensive process. So from the day that the person goes to work to the day that they're actually out on their own, it's several months.
Okay. And so this is not a job to be going into lightly. There's a lot to take in. We talked a little bit about, there's people going through all the processes. They're ready to take the streets by themselves and they decide, this is not what I want to do.
That's right. We put a lot of time, effort, and money into some applicants, and you're right. Once they get into it, they realize that, hey, you know what, this job is not for me. It's not what I see on TV all the time. As I said, there's more to the job than riding around writing a few tickets. There's a lot that's involved in the job. There's a lot of things we see day in and day out that will be very shocking to the general community. And so it's not an easy job for most people to get into it and realize, hey, it's not my thing. And we understand that, and that's just part of it.
We have a Facebook shout out. This is from your wife, Chief, from Melissa Elliott.
Okay.
So shout out to Mrs. Elliott. Appreciate you for watching our live stream.
I would like to say that I really thank you all, the Jonesboro Police Department. I've been a resident here since '95, and so I thank you all personally for the work that you do for the community. I know some people would like to see some different things. Can you tell us maybe if you have any type of program or incentives or anything in the works to maybe increase police and community interaction?
Oh, absolutely. I've been chief, it'll be 2 years, September 4th. So I hit come in the office. That was one of my priorities, was to establish better community relations. And immediately we kicked off some community events, and we're constantly looking at things to better have better interaction with the community, better community forums. And actually we have sets upcoming. This Saturday at Rock Church, they're having a prayer event for the community for first responders. And so that's an event coming up on Monday the 8th at the 4th of July Church, Gray Street. There'll be a community forum talking about policing. So anybody's interested in kind of sit down and talk about policing and things that are going on in the country, that we'll sit down and discuss that in a formal type setting.
I might mention also that, of course, Angie's aware of this. Our Citizen Police Academy that we do several times a year. It's a 12-week, once a week, 3 hours on Thursday night. Our Citizen Police Academy. We invite members of the community who are interested in why police officers do things, how they do them. We cover the entire spectrum. We bring in subject matter experts from within the police department and from outside. We also have some elective activities. We do everything from traffic stops to explain how drug investigations work, patrol operations. We have a range day. Simunition, which is a shoot, don't shoot with a paintball scenario, so you can understand how quickly that officers have to make a decision that could perhaps be second guessed for months or years after that. So I think that's one of the tools that has been pretty valuable for our interaction with the community. There is a substantial time commitment. You have to agree that you're going to be there for 12 weeks on a Thursday night for 3 hours. I'll tell you that no question is out of line. And like Angie, you can speak to that.
Well, yeah, I will speak to that. I graduated from session 2 of the Police Academy, and like Mr. Holmes said, there have been discussions, especially in today's climate with the relationship between the community and the police. There have been questions and there have been concerns from the community, and it's been a venue for citizens to vent their concerns and their problems and for officers to respond. And I believe I said on a previous that whenever there has been a problem, I have told people to go speak with Chief Elliott, and they have contacted Chief, and Chief has addressed the problem and actionable solutions have taken place. So since we are talking on the subject of Citizens Police Academy, let's go ahead and give the dates and application info for the upcoming academy this fall.
It starts September 1st. We still have a few vacancies. I think what we did is we take applications until we don't have any more chairs.
Okay.
We were going to limit it initially, I think, Chief, to 20 on our first session, and we kept getting applications. And Sergeant Cassidy, who that's her baby.
Which one part of it too?
She does. Yeah, but
she's the mother, you're the daddy.
Exactly. And we hope that we hope the kid growing and growing up in the right way. I think it is. But Cassie kept walking back there in the chair. So we had to cut it off when we ran out of chairs. So we won't cut it off until that happens, but we're getting close. But if anyone's interested, call Sergeant Brandon, 336-7148, 336-7148, or send her an email, cbrandon@jonesboro.org. Because they're filling up. It starts September the 1st, and it'll run for 12 weeks. It'll finish before Thanksgiving.
And they also have applications on the Jonesboro Police website, which is jonesboropolice.com. Once again, it is jonesboropolice.com.
Yes.
And then another thing, once you graduate from the Citizen Police, they have an alumni association in which you can join. Is where everyone who's went through the program, they can join. They have monthly meetings. They do activities to help support the police department, help them. I think I just got an email today, I think, about cleaning up the Fraternal Order of Police that may help just with anything that the police department needs help with it. So it's also a support that allows people who went through the CPA to continue to support the police department and endeavors. Now let's bring it back Paul for a second.
Okay.
Not trying to keep time, but we talk to Chief all the time. But Paul, let the listeners out there know about your job as the public information specialist, because a lot of people may not even be familiar that such a position exists. So let them know what you do and how it ties into the mission of the Jonesboro Police Department.
Well, when Chief Elliott came aboard as chief, one of the things that he wanted to do was put a civilian in the public information arena. I have a background in journalism, about 30 plus years, you can tell by looking. But he approached me about that, and I thought that was something perhaps I can make a contribution where I can contribute. So what I do is I deal with the news media on a daily basis. They make requests requests for reports. We got to be as transparent as we can. Pretty much everything we do at this point or another is going to end up in the public arena. So in an effort to be as transparent as we can, answer daily requests from media, furnish them information. Certainly respond to inquiries from citizens in the community who want to know what we're doing, general or specifically perhaps as well. We also have a pretty active Facebook page and website, and we use Twitter as well. So we try to get our message out on all the traditional and social platforms. Certainly have to do that,
yes,
depending on who you want to reach.
Yes, sir.
It's perhaps a generational thing, and I think I've learned some as we've gone along. I certainly hope I have.
Okay.
With Jonesboro Police and Mr. Paul Holmes, Public Information Specialist of the Jonesboro Police Department. We've got another Facebook shout out from another Citizens Police Academy alumnus, Mrs. Cora Hester. So shout out to you, Mrs. Hester. Appreciate you for watching our live stream. Now, Chief Elliott, we mentioned at the top of the hour there are 3 current recruits, and we've got a group of recruits that are about to graduate in a few weeks. There's 12 of them, and I've been looking at them on Facebook, and they're a very close-knit group. A couple of them I did Citizens Police Academy with. So that's another thing that CPA has also been useful for. It's helped to recruit people who want to go on and become full-time officers. So Chief, just kind of give us an update on how that group of recruits are going, because this is actually a historic group of recruits, because it's the first group of recruits to ever come through Jonesboro Police Department. 4 African Americans, there's a Hispanic, and there's a Middle Easterner as well. And like I said, I just see pictures all the time on Instagram. It seems like they always have a blast when they get out on the range.
They do, and this group, like you said, they are a very close-knit group, and we're very pleased with the progress they've made so far, and they will be graduating from this academy on the 26th of this month, and they'll begin their riding in the cars for 3 months with FTO after that. So we're excited about it. It is a very diverse group, and I think in part that's due to the efforts, like Paul said, reaching out on social media, and I think the efforts of what we've done here on KLAK Radio monthly, and the spots you put out and the advertising that y'all have done. I think that has had a positive effect and helped us in recruiting, and we appreciate those efforts because it has not paid off. And we will continue these efforts, which
Testing and also for citizens.
Anyway, and if you'll go online also, even if you're in...
We talked about the community forum that's coming up, and I just want to say to the listeners and to the community that if we want to see things happen in our police department, we have to go and express ourselves. We have to let our voices be heard. I mean, we can complain all day long, but if we never tell the right person our complaints, then nothing gets done. So I just want to encourage you to come out.
For sure, and as I've said before, it's better to talk to each other than talk at each other.
Yeah.
So when we sit down in a full-time setting, understand your concerns and how we operate and our concerns. And when we have a understanding back and forth, then we can resolve some of the issues and put some concerns at ease that can be addressed, and we can move on. And that's the goal. It's to reach out to the community, forums, and these forums we will continue on, because it's not going to be all involved in 1 or 2 forums.
That's right.
We'll have to go to different parts of the city, different churches or whatever, but again, we're open and we're willing and ready to sit down and visit with people and talk about things. So it's going to be an ongoing process, but I just knew early on that this was a big issue that needed to be addressed immediately in the community.
Okay.
So we've done several things to get started, and we have made progress. No, we're not where we want to be, but we're still working towards it. And I think right now the community is showing a lot of support for the police. in light of everything that's going on, it's been overwhelming. And I think people here are now reaching out and wanting to sit down and talk about things.
Okay.
So it's all very positive and very good. And it's like it'll be very productive. And again, it's just going to make our community a better place to live.
We have a Facebook shout out. Shout out to this actually you from Dwayne Martin says checking in. Good morning, Q.
Anyway, okay. Thank you, Dwayne, for giving that shout out. Thank you for watching. Okay, I want to ask Mr. Holmes a question as well, or make a comment.
Sure.
Talk about your position as the public information specialist and how you have to work directly with the different media outlets.
Yes.
Okay, there are times, like I have the KA app on my phone, so I get these alerts, of some breaking news. Are there times, do you feel that in an event when there's a serious crime committed, and I know you want to get information out as quickly as possible so the community is aware of what's going on, but are there times do you feel like you're pressured to get information that probably needs to wait about another 5, 10, 15 minutes because then there's an update to the story, like within an hour or so, update, whatever. So what's the challenges you face with that?
Certainly, in today's 24-hour news cycle, I think the news outlets feel pressure to be first and to get it on immediately. And since we're the source sometimes of that news, well then certainly they're pretty anxious for us to let them know what's going on.
Okay.
So yeah, sometimes perhaps we should all just catch our breath for a second.
Okay.
But I understand that, as a man myself.
Okay.
I understand that deadline pressure and that, you want to be first, but you want to be right also. So, yeah, and it is sort of a different arena these days with our social media platform, with 24-hour news cycle. You're constantly looking for new material if you're a member of the media, and I understand that.
Speaking with Elliott and Public Information Specialist Paul Holmes, we'll be back with more. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Sorry.
Camera's still rolling.
I was watching the clock.
Yeah.
It was counting down for listening.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a look. We had 3 different commercials, or
But 2 breaks. 20 minutes, announcements, 20 more minutes, and then announcements, and then like 7 minutes to kind of wrap up. Pretty close to what we used to do.
Well, that's what I thought. I'm just trying to. I can't see my mom. Let me do a shout out to her before we get off.
But she's definitely listening. She's going to be calling in.
I read her book the other day, and that was good.
She was happy I helped her put it together.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the spot right there.
The best decision I ever made was since joining, I've had the pleasure to give back, protect, and serve my community. Now I want to let you know about that same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing for patrol officers at the Valley View High School. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com or at the police department located at 1,001 South Fairway Road. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, public-line training, and most importantly, just to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity door, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information, 70935-5657.
Testing is Saturday, September 17th. Applications are due no later than September 15th at 5 o'clock p.m. Attention, members and
So I just read the same one.
You just tweaked it a little bit.
I just changed the tag at the end on the dates.
Good. Yeah.
and Ludes. Thursday, August 4th. Showtime, 5 p.m. at Legends 1025. 1025 West Johnson Avenue in Jonesboro.
That's really with
Featuring
what is going to follow with. Or you already have
Follow up with
like I'm trying to get my mind right, ready for when we come back? What we're gonna
Well, we talked about the police testing. We talked about CPA.
Chopper Block, Jonesboro.
Not really much going on. It's even quiet on the national news concerning police. You have anything?
Today it is.
today? Yeah. Today.
Well, yeah, I mean, it can change like that.
I saw the story, and I haven't read the full story. I've seen bits and pieces. A lady was shot by officers on stage while she was like a child.
Oh, yeah, that was in Memphis. Was it in Memphis? No, it wasn't Memphis. I'm trying to remember where that was.
Like, there was one person that made a comment on Facebook that said, I know people don't like what I have to say, but she was holding a gun at the officer. Pointing a gun at the officers. I mean, it was like, what was she supposed to do, you know? And
I read that story last night. I think she had a shotgun. Shotgun. So if you don't want to kill you.
okay.
So that didn't work out all right.
I read somewhere where the after Dallas shootings happened, she said, help us, and don't just complain, help us. And 500 people applied after they put out that call.
Yeah, they said, come on, put in an application. And they did. Dallas was having a hard time getting applicants. And, like 300% increase. More after that took place. They were even up here at the job recruiting fair at ASU trying to get people. That's hard for us to be against. So and which there's some areas around Dallas that's paying more than us. So that's kind of what's hurting. So the policing across the country is kind of a competitive market because people that want to do the job is becoming far and few between. So when you get somebody that wants to become involved in law enforcement, if they're not tied down to the community, then they'll look around and see who's offering more pay, benefits, and things like that, incentives they may have. So
that's how we can talk about the updates on the police salaries.
I'll defer to the chief on that. He's been working directly with that group. But I will tell you that all of the pay might not be as high as some people would like. We equip our people well, we train them well, we get uniforms quickly. In fact, they
25 seconds.
They don't have to buy their own socks. Everything else is furnished.
I give up per employees all the how much does this weigh?
All that stuff, a lot.
Like, I didn't have to carry my purse. We can start up the swap spot.
This one.
KLK 102.5 FM, and we're back on Community Conversations. Kayla Winter is in the studio with you, and we have my co-host, Mrs. Kabila Hart, and we have Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott, and we have Mr. Paul Holmes, the Public Information Specialist with the Jonesboro Police Department. And let's talk about one of the newest things that we have here in Jonesboro. It's, I believe they call it the swap spot. Sometimes I get a little tongue twisted and get it wrong. But just tell the listeners a little bit about that and what it entails.
Well, what we've done is the city and the police department, the fire department, in fact, have partnered with the Leadership Jonesboro current class. Leadership Jonesboro, as you may know, is a project of the Chamber of Commerce where they identify young emerging leaders of the community and have them educate themselves more about the inner workings of the community. And one of the things that the leadership groups is they identify a project that they want to accomplish to improve the community. And this particular group decided they wanted to have establish a safe exchange zone for people who might have transactions over the internet and you want to meet and
like
exchange
Craigslist.
perhaps one of those. And maybe the place you choose may not be as well lighted or may not have security cameras. Well, now we have the lights and cameras
Okay.
at the police department. That was a natural spot. Certainly when they approached us about it, we said, yes, we'd like to participate. We sign up at the police station, 1001 South Carolina. It is monitored with cameras, and those are recorded. You can't say that we would see and prevent something bad from happening, but certainly we would. I think having it cameraed and monitored goes a long way towards improving safety. And if something untoward were to happen, we would certainly have a record of it and be able to identify the people responsible. So we have that established, up and running, 1001 South Caraway.
Okay.
We're improving the cameras, the security system at the Justice Complex on Washington there. And we'll have that up and running, and the fire department, I think, has a signage up where we're getting it up. So the fire departments also are staffed 24/7.
Okay.
So that's what we want to do. If that's a service we can provide citizens, we certainly want to do it.
So is there a sign that indicates the designated area?
Well, only thing we have in that parking lot, pretty much,
Anywhere in the parking lot. Okay.
is the public part of the parking lot. The only thing we ask you to do is just not park in the designated. We have some handicap parking spots, and we have a purple combat wounded designated parking spot. As long as you don't use those or don't block our driveway, you're certainly welcome to use it 24/7.
And I think another benefit of the walk spot is it can help to cut down on fraud, because if a person insists on a meeting at the spot to purchase an item and the seller gets skittish, that they get hey, this item may be stolen, I probably don't need to buy it anyway. So that's, I think, another benefit of it that hasn't been mentioned.
Certainly. We hope that would discourage those kinds of fraudulent transactions. If you're going to exchange it at a police department and you're thinking you might take advantage of someone, maybe you'll rethink that if you come to the police department to do that. So, yes, indeed, that's a benefit.
We have a couple of Facebook shout-outs. Shout out to Jeff L. Presley, and shout out, this is from your daughter, Chief. He says, hey Dad, hey Paul.
Hey Cameron, hey Jeff, and also I want to throw one out to Miss Norma Farrell. I know you're listening this morning, and we usually hear from you, and probably tied up, but just say good morning, Norma.
Well, like I said, Miss Farrell, she's at home babysitting, so if she can't call, that means the baby's crying. So we'll just shout you out, Mrs. Farrell. But if you can't, if baby's sleeping, then go ahead and call in. Of course, you don't have to be Miss Farrell. You can anyone and call in at 870-277-1080. Once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080.
I just want to say, to the community, to the listeners, this is your opportunity to speak with the chief and Mr. Holmes. Any questions you have, I know he's here once a month, but you get to ask your questions on air, and I'm sure he'll be happy to answer whatever. If it's something that's maybe case sensitive, maybe involve personal information, of course, that would have to be discussed at a later time. But please utilize the phone lines. Give us a call, email.
Or on our Facebook live stream.
Yes, Facebook. This is your community. I'm going to speak for other listeners from other areas, but you are the chief of police for Jonesboro. This is, your community, so it takes us, the residents, to make it great as well. The police can only do so much.
Correct. We
have to do our part as well. So this is your opportunity to interact with someone. Go to those different forums that are coming up. Meet the police officers. If you see one on the street, just say anything. You might make their day.
That's right. It does. But again, it's all about interacting with each other and discussing concerns that you may have. And like I said, once we get past that, then it's a better place. And again, we're going to continue to have forums, and if you as an individual want to have kind of get together in a church or community center or whatever, then we welcome that, and we'll be there to participate.
Okay.
Well, Chief, I'm going to put this concern out there because you appeared on a show that we had a couple weeks back, Our Thoughts on the Matter. It was a Saturday show, and they was asking you some questions, and this was a question that I wanted to ask and to get your thoughts on. Now, a few weeks back, there was an incident where a gentleman, he had an encounter with the police officer. He had his hands up, and he was shot. And when he was shot, he asked the officer, "Why did you shoot me?" And the officer said, "I don't know." Now, in Citizen Police Academy, we were taught, and even before that, my mother stressed to me, always comply with police action, sudden movements, do what they tell you to do, and I'll pay the ticket, I'll deal with it, but make sure that you're obedient so that nothing goes bad. Now, I don't necessarily have this problem in Jonesboro because you have fine officers that you train, and I don't have any fear of it, anything with complying. But if I go out of town and I get pulled over and I get stopped somewhere and I'm compliant, I've got my hands where the officer can see it, I'm not making any sudden movements, I've got my license, got my registration out, I'm doing what the officer says. In my mind, there's still a bit of fear, that something could happen. That's not a feeling that I want to have. Again, I don't have that here in Jonesboro because of the Jonesboro Police Department and the community has come together, but I would not want to have that fear anywhere I go out, because I do believe in complying. Like I said, complaining. So right. I just kind of want your response.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Nobody in the country should go around fearing the police and fearing of being shot just for doing nothing. Now, if you get to a confrontation with the police and your chance of getting hurt or something more serious happening, you have the odds if your actions, go that route. But as long as you're stopped and you're complying, and most of these encounters are traffic related, do what you're supposed to do, and basically just provide the information you're supposed to provide. And again, we ask you to just keep your hands where we can see them, and the encounter will go smoothly, quickly, and you'll be back on your way. So, and our motto is, comply. And if you have a complaint, then make a complaint later. We have a complaint department, police department. We take these complaints, investigate them, and action. If we have to take action against the officer, we'll take action against the officer. But also caution the citizens don't make a frivolous complaint, because we'll take action against you too. If you got anything that is untrue, and of course our encounters are videotaped. And so we'll go back and look at the video again. We'll take action when we need to take. But yes, across the country, I think you're finding police departments are trying to reassure citizens that these things are actually very, very small. You look at the amount of police-citizen interaction across the country on a daily basis. You've got over 1 million officers. In the public day in and day out, and nothing bad happens. And so these incidents of officer-involved shootings, there's yes, it seems like a lot, but compared to how many interactions there are on a daily basis, then it's just kind of low. But again, you go back and look at these incidents, it's not just somebody just shot just as a random act. There's where the story was what led up to that encounter or the shooting. So
we don't know obviously all the facts in that particular situation.
Sometimes the news media just puts it out that you have this, and they don't relate the rest of the facts, and people kind of just go on that, and their emotions start to thrive on that, and that's not a good thing. I'd encourage everybody, hey, just stop, take a breath, let's get the rest of the story, and then anything needs to be addressed, we'll address. And sometimes bad things happen, and if it does here, then we're going to do our part to investigate it. Or if it's officer-involved shooting, we're going to bring state police in to investigate it, and then we have a third party do the investigation. And again, just make sure everything is above board like it's supposed to be.
Now, Chief, let me piggyback off that. Has there been a situation to where it was so serious that you had to even go above state police and possibly call the FBI to investigate?
No, nothing like that here. Again, it depends. If it turned into something like that, then we would certainly reach out. But things that during my time here in Jonesboro was really gone above and beyond having to deal with state police and come in and investigate something.
And I will tell you, there's also another layer in that. After the state police finish their investigation, then they forward that report to the prosecuting attorney for review.
Correct.
So we're not investigating ourselves if it goes to that point. and after the state police finished, then another entity reviews it and looks over it. And certainly, we're all humans. But if a mistake is made, then it will be addressed, it will be dealt with.
Okay. I guess the question, or I would like you all to respond. There was a story on K8, probably 4 weeks ago. There was a home invasion, and the letter reported the individuals left in a particular colored car. And so I don't want to get too deep into it because it's kind of personal. There's some other, anyway, long story short, I'm sorry. There were some comments made on the post about, because the individual, there was a car stop, and individuals weren't arrested. So there was some very ugly comments made about, so they don't want to start another riot. It was right after other stuff started happening across the world. Okay, explain to the people, just because a car stopped, just because someone resembles someone that was reported in a crime, like, explain to the people how that works. You can't always arrest the first person you interact with.
Well, sure, it's an investigative process, and you may have a crime taking place, and they're driving a certain kind of make model of the vehicle, and there's probably hundreds of those vehicles floating around, and if it's in the proximity of where the crime took place, and the people match the description of then they become a suspect, and if the officers make that stop, and they may learn early on during the stop that no, you're not the person. And these officers key on certain things in place, like if you make that stop and the driver and the passengers are all nervous and start getting jittery inside, and it's telling them that hey, there's more to this. They're worried about something, as opposed to somebody just calm and relaxed and like what I do. They may realize early that this is probably not our suspect, but again, we're investigating these crimes. We may stop people and ask them, were you over here, and gather that information. And sometimes people like, well, why'd you stop me? Well, we have this over here we're trying to follow up. And sometimes people think, you're profiling me or whatever. Well, you got on the same color of clothing, and your description kind of matches. You're in close proximity. We're just trying to stop and gather some information. So it's part of the process. Again, we're trying to do what's right for the community and help these victims of these crimes. And if you're inconvenienced in the process, we hate that, but as part of the investigative process, that's some things we have to go through. So we just, again, ask people to just comply, the reason for what we're doing. We may not be able to explain it all completely to you in those few minutes that we're there, but, trust us, we're trying to do what's right for the victim, the person who's been victimized. And we want to apprehend the perpetrator as quickly as possible. So we want that encounter to go as smooth as possible. So if you're not the person we're looking for, we can end that stop and continue our search for the person. So, but yeah, there will be those encounters and those times out there that may get stopped and they weren't the one involved. But and based on descriptions that are given, such as vehicles or clothing and hair and things like that. Again, you may be in that position.
Okay. So, I think some people see what goes on TV and I'm not glorified, but they get a misconception of how the inner workings of the police department really work.
Yeah, TV, we have arranged a lot of things for law enforcement. What you see on TV, you're in an hour show, you're going out here, you're processing the crime scene, and you're running back and running the stuff through this magical computer. And, my first 30 minutes, you've already got some math, you're working on a confession, and things like that doesn't work. But the general public, they think some of this stuff exists in its reality, and it's not. So it gives people a misconception on law enforcement tactics and laws and things like that, and how we do things, how we process scenes, especially because, we work a serious crime scene, we could be there 60 plus hours, as opposed to CSI Miami, they're 30 minutes, they got to come in and work back at the station, running through the DNA analyzer 5,000 and got a hit, you know, and whereas opposed to in reality is it takes several months for this to get sent to the crime lab and for them to run through the one time for the whole state of Arkansas. So they face a backlog, so that information, you know, that happens. So if you're a victim of a crime, we send suspect fingerprints down or DNA down, you're not gonna get it overnight, you're not gonna get it in 30 minutes, an hour, because it just doesn't happen.
Okay.
So piggybacking off of it, so let's just say you have a murder case and you have a grieving family and, you know, they want answers and you're trying to explain this to them, but it didn't happen that quickly. How do you deal with that too? When the family is calling all the time saying, if you found out anything new, we want some resolution.
Right. Well, generally, these cases, they're assigned to the detective, and the family will know who that detective is. So they have a contact point with the police department from that point on. And generally, we try to contact with them and update them as best we can. Again, this process of investigations is slow. Sometimes we don't get information, but we know that information's out there, but the community just fails to get involved. And that's something we face quite often, that we have a shooting or a setting in apartment complexes or a club, and you got hundreds of people standing around, and you know, the police arrive on the scene, like what happened, like nobody knows. Nobody wants to say anything, nobody wants involved in it, and you know, we're trying to do what's right for the person that's been victimized. We need to help them out as a community. And so we encourage people to do your part as a citizen in this community, involved in what goes on in your community, because the same thing happened to you. You'd want people to be involved and speak up.
And if you don't want us to speak with an officer right then, certainly we have a vehicle where you can do that anonymously, confidentially. Crime Stoppers. You can call them. That number is 935-STOP, 935-7867.
Right.
You can provide information confidentially at a later time if you don't want to speak to an officer at the scene. You know, we do need that information. Chief Elliott often says that crime prevention is not spectator sport, just stay by and watch.
That's right.
It's your interest to help the police keep the community safe.
At some point, we have to get out of this, you know, I'm snitching on someone.
Yeah, we hear that quite often. Well, I don't get snitched. Well, you know, there's somebody may be seriously physically injured here, and you know, and you may have the knowledge to help on the case. So, you know, I think I'd rather able to snitch is to let somebody go free of a murder, or that, you know.
And that was like you have the fear of repercussions. So especially if it's like only a single witness, and that witness steps forward and gives the information and is arrested, and next thing you know, and themselves are victimized, or their house seriously is burned down, or
correct. And again, we go back to there's anonymous ways of getting information to the police. So it's just getting involved, and you know what? If you have to step up as a citizen to do the right thing, then you know. Again, if it happened to you, you want somebody to do that for you.
All right.
Speaking of Jonesboro Police Chief Elliott and Mr. Paul Holmes, Public Information Specialist of the Jonesboro Police Department, we'll be back for the break. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5. Yeah.
We come back, we would follow up with the salary and
We sure they can ride to that.
And then I asked about technology, you know, you talked about how things don't work as fast as people think. You
mentioned your Horatio thing you always mention in CPA.
Yeah. Now, we do have some pretty sophisticated equipment in our lab, but our guys can do certain kinds of analysis, examination of things, and it may have to go to the state crime lab. And one of the things we did in the CPA class was we set up a crime scene and talk folks a little bit about blood spatter analysis, following clues, that sort of thing. And it's just it's an organized process you got to go through.
I mean, I am a police drama junkie. I love the crime scene investigation aspect of it. My husband told me, because I asked a lot of questions, he said I'm in the wrong field. I should have been a
Well, when we had the CPA crime scene night, y'all come out.
Well, we take the whole class.
Take the whole class.
Oh goodness, I would love to, but my problem is I don't think we're focusing up on the right clues. Like when like I've seen in real life discussion, like on TV, the real life shows, talk about when you talk to a scene, you have to kind of process what's relevant, what's not relevant. I have fingerprint dust everywhere.
That's why, actually, I've seen it as process, but, if it's a good done it, then when we leave, there is finger dust. So, again, this TV show, before that first commercial break, they've already processed the scene, and they're heading back across town. It's like,
Computer spit out the name and identification.
But when we get in trial situations, we call the CSI effect.
Okay.
When I've testified in trials, I have spent an hour on stand before we even got into the testimony about the case, talking about the CSI effect, what is jet and what's not, and the jury's going, what is this?
You know DNA?
So,
Oh my God. Okay, so
it presents challenges to law enforcement, what the TV does. It's just like, shooting guns out of people's hands. Oh, yeah, I got killed and shoot a gun out of their hand. Well, no, that's not going to happen.
it used to be a really great shot, and it was so like to hit the ring.
That's not going to happen. You're talking about a few split seconds to make a decision, make a shot. So there's things like that that just don't work out that way.
30 seconds. And we're back on Community Conversation with Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott and Mr. Holmes, Public Information Specialist of the Jonesboro Police Department. A couple Facebook shout-outs. Shout out to Tierra Hamilton and Letitia Dillard.
All right, thank you all for listening. Okay, we have a few moments left, and so I want to ask you all, Chief, to talk about the salaries of the officers. There was, again, on the media outlet, a story about how the city council, the city of Jonesboro has been kind of going back and forth about the salaries, and so what information can you share about that?
Absolutely. There's been some concern over police and fire pay. I guess it's been an ongoing issue for quite some time now. And here recently, the city council public safety committee comprised of councilmen and some police officers, and working on a pay scale plan for the police department. And I think we've got that ironed out. And right now, there's a few tweaking to the plan before it goes to the public safety committee to be voted. And from there, it'll go to the finance committee of the city council, and if they approve all of it, it'll go to the full council. So I think we're very close to getting the plan in place, and whether the council adapts to the plan and puts it forth, vaccine. But what we want to do with this salary plan is set up some step raises, and so when you hire in, you'll get step increases at certain time. And the way we have it set up is 1 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10, and 15 and 20. So in any position in the city, there's a pay scale. You have a low, you have a medium, and a high. But you really didn't have a path to get across that scale through your career. And so we have developed a path that I think would be good for the department, and I think the city's maybe adopting something for the rest of the city. So which would be good.
That would be wonderful.
So, but it's just another recruiting tool for us. So, again, it's a competitive market, and we want to be as competitive as we can, and we want the best applicant that we can get.
Okay.
All right, Chief, we have a little under 2.5 minutes, so Chief and Paul, just let the listeners out there know about those testing dates for the fall Jonesboro Police Testing as well as Citizens Police Academy.
Okay, get your application in if you're interested in applying for the position of patrol officer by September 15th. We'll test on, I believe it's the 17th.
Yes.
Correct?
Application due 5 o'clock on the
On
15th.
the 15th. You can get one in person, you can get one online. Those applications are available. You have to be 21 to be of good character. We'll have the physical and written tests on the test day, and then we'll proceed from there. As far as the Citizen Police Academy, if you just learn what police officers do, how they do it, why they do it, that begins on September 1st and will conclude in November. Those applications are available in person or on the website also. Those are 3-hour sessions once a week. We also have some optional activities that I think are pretty interesting and eye-opening, and everyone has enjoyed. We want to have those CPA sessions to be as certainly we have a curriculum. We want the question and answer portion, the interchange to be as freewheeling.
Okay.
No limits, no boundaries, any question, any topic. There's nothing out of bounds, nothing we won't talk about.
Okay.
All right, Chief, any final comments?
Hey, we appreciate being on the show, and we have one more event coming up on the 13th. We have a back-to-school event at Park, 10 to 3. Officers are going to be there cooking hamburgers and hot dogs for the kids. Pastor Thomas has got some backpacks and some school supplies that are going to be handing out at this event. And so it's going to be a big event. We got officers going to play some basketball for the kids. So for the kids in Northside Jonesboro, get your best team together and come on out. And
Yeah, the last time the officers actually
that's
won.
right. We're going to come back, and we're going to.
Full disclosure, we do have a new officer playing college ball.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, we're going to have to leave it right there. Once again, thank you, Chief Elliott. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. This is Community Conversations, and this is KLEK 102.5.
All right.